Hello. Welcome. Alright. I've played this game a dozen times, and today we are going to start, because I need content, we are going to start, it's not a speed run. I'm not versed enough in bugs to make this a proper speed run, but I'm going to call this, probably any percent glitchless, because I don't have any bugs to show you. The game's not well built, but it's fine. Epic Mickey was released in 2012. It got a remaster last year for Switch, and I beat the original a dozen times. I've beat this one several fucking times. This is one of those games I just boot up to have a casual conversation and relax. And as a result, I've picked up many tactics to beat this game fairly quickly. Bendy would be a lot faster because Bendy is frankly shorter. But on an average, this game is probably... it's like an 8-hour run at most. Yeah. So I'm just going to go section by section. Fuck that pot. I always get stuck in the little bricks. I don't know why the collision is fucked there, but it is. Yeah, this opening section is a little bit of a slog. Because the game is trying to introduce you to your mechanics and shit, but... also, this video is assuming that you have a basic understanding of how this game works, because if you don't, I don't know why you're here. Unless you just love me, in which case, thank you. Hi, I appreciate that you guys are here. But yeah, the opening section's literally that easy. Just run up to the things and bash them. It's not that hard. If this wasn't New Game Plus, you would go down there and get the pin that's in that room, but I don't need it, so we're just going to run over to the door. If you're going to do speedruns, I highly suggest running a New Game Plus file, not because of any like special tricks or anything, but because I currently have 40,000 tickets at the start of the game. It's just nice. So if you make any mistakes missing power sparks, animatronic parts for Goofy, literally anything, you know, especially if you're going for your first completion and you need concept art. There we go. If you get too close, the game will pause you and make you do a dialogue option. So instead I just choose to knock it out prematurely so it doesn't stop me. Like this, right here, normally it'll pause and tell you to paint the floor back in, but if I just drop it, it doesn't stop me. And I just prefer that. It's nice. Alright. This section is also kind of nice. Because if you do it right, you can just jump to the very next section. Oh no, it's a creature. Ah! I'm so scared. Yeah, I don't need your cutscenes. Alright, so up there, if you go this way, you can jump off onto the next section and go right to the next gear. So we're going to do that here. We also go this way to avoid alerting him. It's a seer. We go this way to avoid alerting the seer, and it will not give us the combat tutorial if you never alert it. So if we just go this way, he will ignore us, and we will not get the combat tutorial. Okay, I fucked that up, but it's fine. Go this way, paint a little bit of that in. Oh, I fucked up. Okay, it's fine. No, I didn't. You didn't see shit. We also normally have to drop these rocks, and also the rocks on the other stairs, but we're gamers, so we're just gonna not do that. Because I don't want to. It's probably easier to, we're just gonna yeet. And because we fall during a cutscene, we take no damage. Normally we would go over there and free Calvin and whatnot, but I don't have to do that, so we're just going to take the protector screen. We're just going to get the fuck out of here. Dark Beauty is probably the easiest section, but I'm going to see if I can get the clock tower in this video. Because it shouldn't take that long. The clock tower is fairly simple. Especially if you do the thinner route. Doing the paint route on the clock tower is just kind of slow, because if you miss an arm, you have to do the whole arm again, and it's just kind of a nightmare to get them both painted at the same time. I fucked up that. It's fine. I'm a gamer. I fucked up that. Fucked up that. That's great English. I'm so smart, guys. Jesus. I might be the dumbest man alive. Jesus. Alright. Yeah, Epic Mickey is a fun game to me because I know it, and I like when people take dark, twisted takes on, like, Disney cartoon era stuff. That's why I like Bendy so much. Not because Bendy's good, but I just like the twisted cartoon vibes. It's one of my favorite aesthetics, when you take something that most people would consider innocent and sweet, and you make it kind of creepy. The only reason we don't paint this door in is because it's easier to just bash the gear. It just takes a little less time. We're also not going to be painting the pipes, because obviously not. Fuck that. Oh, wait, nope, nope, nope. Gotta jump over it. I'm smart. Oh, wait, I'm stuck. Hang on. Thank God this game has, like, an auto unstuck feature. I don't know what I'd do without it. Sometimes you can go behind it, sometimes you can't. I just like to get the extra tickets, because I'm a greedy bastard, I guess. Yeah, we can just kind of walk on the pipes. We don't have to fuck with that. Go through this dialogue as quickly as possible. If you take too long, then you'll have to paint that floor in. Oh, unless you're an idiot, like me. In which case you have to ride the whole wheel again. My bad. I'm a bad gamer, apparently. I'm very dumb. Alright, anyway. This is your first proper combat section, right here. If the game doesn't crash. That's the only point in which the game may crash. Also, thinner route is the fastest. By far. The thinner route is the fastest route. By any standard, the thinner route will always be fastest. In fact, there's only a couple of times where we take the paint route through an area, and one of them is actually at the beginning of the game here. That being Small Pete. But that is the only section in which the paint path is faster, because he forces us into a combat section if you don't get the ship log. And it's just kind of annoying. The other situation in which we take the paint path is Goofy's parts, because getting Goofy will give you an extra health upgrade, which is just kind of nice. Alright, so this is a section where we come over here, and we just kind of whoop up on these guys. It's not very difficult. The combat in this game is not special. I probably won't show the other combat sections unless there's like a relevant skip to the section. Ow, what? He actually hit me. Yeah, okay. I mean, fuck you then. I'll just beat you into a corner. You know, I don't need you. Also, this is one of the few sections in the game where Spatters will do this. And I wish more combat sections did this. He's scared of me. And he'll run off. And he won't fight you again unless you alert him. See, like, now he's just gonna kind of stand there. And then he poofs off. That's their teleport mechanic that keeps them in the area they're supposed to be. Which is another relevant thing that we'll talk about later. But, after doing that, the boats unlock and you can just leave. Normally, they will want you to do the rides there, but we don't care about that. So we're just going to hitch a ride here. If you're doing 100% though, you can ride those elephants and jump up there early. Instead of fixing the elephant ride, you can parkour on the elephants instead. It's just easier. Alright, this is the door part, and you're going to take the thinner path here as well, so let's just run over here and get rid of these valves, because we don't like them, and we want them to die. You can also paint the hippo heads. The only difference between doing these two is getting a concept art or a ticket. That's the only difference. And frankly, on a repeat playthrough, the ticket is much more valuable. So, just for your general economy, you're going to want to get that golden ticket there. Also, fun fact, if you speed skip the dialogue here, that boat's not going to go anywhere. That plant sinks, and the boat's supposed to go over there and get dropped into the whirlpool there. But if you speed skip the dialogue, for some reason, it just kind of deletes the bush, and the boat doesn't move. I don't know why, but I thought that was kind of cool when I figured that out. So, it goes to show the logic of this game is not foolproof, I suppose. Normally we would go in here, and we would free Tisto there. But we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to play a little game here. We're going to do some parkour with these small rocks, if I do not get caught bouncing up and down on it like that. Because you can bounce back and forth and miss the rocks repeatedly, and then just kind of die. But here we do the zoomies. Also, this dash is remaster exclusive, and it is very nice, actually. To be able to dash around is very convenient for certain jumps, because you can dash and preserve your double jump in midair. So you still have both your jumps. It's very nice. Observe. Yeah, unless you get stuck like I just did, in which case you're an idiot. And I am also an idiot. So, don't feel bad. Yeah, this game isn't as cut clear as you think it would be, but I could have jumped up on the bridges and got the gremlins, but it's just faster to run over here and do it yourself, collectively, I believe. Because you still get cutscenes for flipping all the valves yourself, so there's just no real point to get the gremlins. But the thing about sections like these is taking the most efficient path around the area. Like, for example, this valve is the last valve you want to flip because it's right beside the door there. And if you're doing 100%, it's also right beside this chest, which you can jump on top of this and just kind of get to. If you got the right hops. I think I actually need to be on this doll. Or is it the rock? I think it's the rock. Oh no, it doesn't have grab. Okay. Yeah, the ledge isn't marked for grabbing. But I think if I do it right. No, okay, I have to be on the ground for that. Alright, never mind. Never mind, we're discovering things. Like I said, I haven't perfected the speedrun yet. But yeah. I usually do any percent, so also the game always freezes here. If you speed through the dialogue too quickly, the game freezes every time. I don't know why. But here's Pete. There's Small Pete, and he's going to want us to get the ship's log from Gremlin Village. And if we don't, we're going to have to do a super long combat encounter, which is not ideal for the speedrun, so we're not going to be doing that. But this is Asia Boat Ride. And this also doesn't take very long. All we have to do is get over to that door and flip the 2 switches. That's it. So we literally just have to make it to the door. And the fastest way to do that is the carpet rides over there. So we're going to completely ignore these guys and jump over here. Up here. Smack this guy, because I don't like him and he annoys me. Yeah, there's the door there. And if we could get from here to there for free, I would not bother with the carpet ride, but unfortunately, We cannot do that. So we're going to do this. And then squash those guys. There's a couple of times in the run where I do that, actually. Not that I have to, it's just kind of bonus points to me. Personally, it feels like kind of an achievement to smite those guys unintentionally. Okay, so now we just take the carpet right over here. And if you time this right, you can get on it and then up on the cloud. And then we just boing, boing. And the door opens and we can leave. Boom, just like that. Normally have to go all the way over there. Normally have to go fucking all the way over there and do the dragon ride and shit and clear that and get that guy out and free the fans and stuff. But we can just not do that. We don't have to do any of that shit. We can just open the door. Carpet ride basically skips the whole section by freeing a single gremlin. So that's nice. Again, most of this is just thinner path. So by doing the thinner path, you're basically already doing a speedrun. Hydration. Another big part of this is projector pathing. And getting through it in one go as quickly as possible. So a lot of this is going to be memorizing parkour. So it's a big deal when it comes to projectors. Certain ones, particularly in Tortuga in the jungle section, are kind of bad. But aside from that, and a couple in Lonesome Manor, the projectors are mostly fine. There's a couple in Lonesome Manor, there's several in the jungle, and then there's like one or two in the castle at the end section of the game that are problematic. But these first several projectors are just piss easy. I think the first kind of scary one is clock cleaners here, but it's alright. Projectors are probably your biggest checkpoint, actually. Not gonna lie. They require the most amount of like knowledge of how your movement kit works, I would say. Other than that, this game is not difficult. It is not difficult in the fucking slightest. This game is very easy. Yeah, and then we can leave now, but we're not going to do that because he wants us to fix the clock, and instead we're just going to go over here and paint Gus's house. And doing so will make him like us, and he will open up the windmill for us. And then we can just kind of leave. Thanks to that, we can just kind of get out of here. And once we free this gremlin up here, we can leave. Normally, you would have to fill in the pump at the top of the clock towers and do all that, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to leave. But first, we have to go do the boat. So, we're going to do that. All you have to do is jump up here and ride over to the boat here. I don't have to do that, I just want to, because of Guardians. Guardians are also a big thing. You have to be on top of your Guardians when we're doing runs like this. There are, I believe, 4 or 5 sections where you need your Guardians. Once you unlock the watch sketch in Tortuga, you don't really need your Guardians as much. The reason you'll need Guardians mainly is because of slobbers. Slobbers are pretty bad in terms of runtime. It's kinda awful. That's some fucked parkour, isn't it? It's slightly faster than riding the planes normally. Now we're just gonna jump over here, because I fucked that last time. I'm gonna grab this. Thought I could squeeze that, and I can't. I'm too fat. My marketable ass, it's too fat. Don't touch me, I'll sue you. Alright, and then we just go over here. And we're done. That's Gremlins, done. Like I said, the opening section of this game really is super simple. It takes at most an hour, but not even that. I mean, it's only been, what, 20 minutes, and we're almost to the clock. In fact, we're about to be at the clock tower, actually, so... The clock tower is your first checkpoint. Your second checkpoint is Mickey Junk, and I think I could probably get Mickey Junk in this episode if I tried, but I kind of don't want to. I've discovered that you guys like my shorter videos, so I'm going to try to keep these short, and if I keep doing this, well... I'll have a good bit of content for a while. This is probably 8 or 9 videos right here. So, Epic Mickey is going to be doing some work for me as far as just keeping my upload schedule consistent. Because this is literally going up tomorrow. So, that's a lifesaver right there, I'll tell you that much. Jesus. I'll also probably be using the concept art from the game for these thumbnails. Because the concept art in this game is really, really good. Yeah, there it is. There's the Coliseum. Alright, so we gotta get over there. The clock tower's in there. So we're just gonna go this way. Look, it's a rabbit. Yeah, we don't like that guy, and he doesn't like us, but we'll be friends by the end of the game, inexplicably. Why? I don't know. I guess he got tired of trying to sue us. Fun fact, this is the game that Disney sold an actual person for in order to get the rights to Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. They sold a newscaster and a sports entertainment worker to get the rights to use Oswald in this property, and it still went under. Yeah, you might be surprised to learn that this game didn't do very well at the office. Well, Epic Mickey 1 did alright. The sequel, however, was fucking atrocious. Normally we'd have to do a big fight here, but thankfully, since we did the book, he's gonna be nice to us, and he's just gonna fuck off and open the door. Free of charge. Fun fact, if you do the combat encounter and you kill them all with thinner, Pete will call you a sick fuck. Obviously he doesn't say fuck, but, you know, he'll call you a sick mouse. Which is pretty funny to me, considering the current state of Disney. Also, I'm not sure why, there's always combat music there. Also, this game may get me copyright claimed a fuck ton. I don't know. We're gonna find out. I imagine it might. Because it's fucking Disney. So we'll see. You can't get me for that. Steamboat Willie's free domain. You can't, it's public domain. You can't get me for that anymore. Ha 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 ha. This one's probably the biggest early check of parkour knowledge, because you gotta do this. Open the door early. Dodge that ball there. Oh, I missed the quick jump. Never mind, I got it second try, we're good. For 100%, you have to go past the captain there to go get the wheel on the other side of the ship, but this is a New Game Plus file, so we don't have to do that. Oh, by the way, you don't have to, but it's easier if you do. I highly recommend getting all film reels, because the reward for getting all your film reels is getting 57 capacity on all of your sketches, and it'll automatically fill you up thanks to the usher. So, It's just kind of nice to have that many watch sketches. And the TV sketches are nice for the blot sections. But anyway, here we go. Alright, Clock Tower is not that hard. All we're going to do is just kind of blast his ass. Gonna dodge out of the way. Literally just don't get squished. That's your only objective. Do not be squashed. And that's a hand. He's going to try to squish me. We're going to go over here. If you continue thinning during the slowdown, you'll get quite a lot of thin progress. There we go. See? Quick play, quick play. Aren't I a gamer? Tell me how amazing I am. Alright, he's gonna slam twice now. Alright, no, we're at the 3-time stage. Okay, yep. No, you don't. Got it. There we go. I'll take that over here. Yeah, the actual arm takes a while longer. That's why we do those last. Eh, I dashed the wrong way. That's my fault. I'm a little bit silly. Give me that. Alright, we're good. And we're done. Oh, that still hits. Oh, wow. Okay. Good to know. Alright. And that's Clock Tower. Clock Tower is not a hard boss. Very simple. In fact, I wouldn't say any of these bosses are particularly difficult, aside from maybe Peatronic, actually. Peatronic's kind of testy, but, you know, that's just because I think Peatronic's probably the most mechanically complicated. For a speed run, it's definitely the Mad Doctor, for sure. The Mad Doctor is a massive skill check for you when it comes to, like, your speedrun tactics. Because you can easily cheap out the Mad Doctor on Thinner Path. But that's it. That's Mean Street. So there you go. There's the opening section. Boom. Here we are. So that's Clock Tower. The first section, not that difficult. There's not a whole lot to do. It's very simple. I would say the second section of this game is probably Mickey Junk up to Peatronic, I would say. So that's here, your introduction to Mean Street, up to, I would say, Peatronic, yeah. Because Tomorrowland is a very short section. It's also where you get your first paint path soft lock if you're a speedster. If you paint in Moody's house before talking to Moody and getting the quest to paint in his house, he'll never give you the quest. He will just simply have a seizure and never give you the quest. And so the game just kind of locks you out of that quest for the paint path. And then you have to drop the safe on his head. So if you're doing paint path speedruns, do that. But, yeah, here they'll give us the quest to go get the gears for the projector machine. Because Pete has one. Yes, I know, I got a quest. Yeah, Pete over there has one, and Gilda has one. Pete will have one, and he'll send us to Gilda, and Horace has one, and he'll send us to get his book from Polly. So that'll be it for today. It's time to become Steamboat Willie real quick, because I paid money for this game, because I'm a nerd. Hell yeah. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time. Skadoosh!